Hello, everybody. This is Amber. I am back again with one of my friends from GreenGeeks, and we are super excited to be doing another live stream leading up to WordPress Accessibility Day, which is happening next week. If you all have not registered yet, you need to go register right now. Keep this window open because you definitely want to hear what GreenGeeks has to say. But open another tab while we do intros and go to 2025.wpaccessibility.day/register. You can register totally for free and see all kinds of great talks about accessibility live from wherever you are via the magic of the internet. I am here today with Marco. Marco, do you want to introduce yourself and your role at GreenGeeks?
Yes. Hello, everybody. I am Marco Berrocal. I am from Costa Rica, as I was talking to Amber before we went live. I work in partner relations at GreenGeeks, and it essentially means that I like to network with people a lot. I like to connect. I like to advocate, help people out in growing their business through our services, which is web hosting. So yeah, I go to a lot of camps, work camps. Or conferences related to WordPress. I speak sometimes not, and yeah. So that's essentially it. Yeah, I'm happy to be here.
Yeah, well, we are really glad to have you here. And can you give everyone sort of some background on GreenGeeks? What makes your hosting platform unique for WordPress and maybe also non-WordPress websites? You have to tell me if you also host non-WordPress because I don't know the answer. So I'm going to learn something new right now.
All right. So to answer the second question, we do. We host, people that do not have WordPress, even though we do prefer the flavor of WordPress because it's such a powerful content management system. And I would say the things that set us apart, first, it would be the fact that you're talking to real people, you're going to deal with real people are going to help you out, and real people are going to be there if something goes bad, which it never does, but you never know, security issues, things like that. But our support is one of our pillars of how we operate business. It's always a client first mentality, helping them out and helping them grow with whatever they need. And we have different departments that take care of that. And we are a real people kind of organization. So I absolutely love that. The second thing that I love is that we are all about helping the ecosystem, helping by sponsoring, by attending to conferences, speaking, volunteering, and actually pitching into making WordPress what it is today. So we take a lot of pride into that, and we are a green hosting provider in the sense that we give back, we put back into the grid 3 times what we consume as a hosting company through through associations with nonprofit organizations. And this one I like because I already have it with some other you could say vendors or people I've had transactions with. For every customer that we receive, we plant a tree, and you get to choose as a customer where you would like your tree to be planted. So I absolutely love that because I have a couple of trees. I've planted a couple of trees, not just in my yard.
That is so cool.
Yeah.
Is it anywhere in the whole world that you can plant a tree or specific areas?
Yeah, you have to choose between South America, Africa, and Asia. So you get to choose where you want your tree to be planted. So yeah, that is I absolutely love that one. Yeah,
That is really cool. I want to say one other way that you guys are really unique, which is that I think you have some of the best stickers.
Thank you.
I love your and you'll have to tell us if your mascot little green guy actually there's like a green guy and a green girl if they have
Yeah,
names or what they
yeah,
are.
yeah.
But I always bring those back, and my kids have water bottles with Green Geeks like characters playing sports and like doing all kinds of different activities, and that's what they take to school every day. They love the stickers.
Yeah, I'm glad that your the extent of our coverage is to school, because my kids, when they saw them, they started to plaster them all over the walls here in the house. So, I was
Yeah.
like, so it was pretty
They
obvious where I
learned
worked
pretty
when you opened the
early
door.
that the stickers go on the water bottles or like very specific items,
Oh,
not on our
you were
furniture or the
adamant
side of
about
our
it.
house.
Okay, cool. No, mine were like, they were like plastering all over the house. So there's still maybe some around here. I don't know. I have to look at the walls, but
Does
yeah.
that guy have a name?
The guy's name is Specs, and the girl's name is Melody. We added her a
Okay.
couple of years after. Yeah, so we
Yeah.
now we use both,
And
depending.
I don't know how to describe them, but they're little green characters, and everyone should go look at them on the. Are they on your website? Can you see them on the website too?
I think not. No. I've been secretly pushing for it because I think it's a great character. You know, both of them are really, because we put them on
Yeah.
stickers, you put them on everything, and yeah, it helps a lot with the branding and the identity of the company. So yeah,
Mhm. Yeah. Well, maybe you could probably Google them and find pictures of them that people have
yeah,
shared, probably of the stickers and things. So,
or
uh,
go to a WordCamp we sponsor.
yes.
Yeah.
Are there any upcoming in-person word camps that people can go meet you at?
We are going to be in Guatemala upcoming week. The WordCamp is going to be on the 18th. We're going to have one here in San Jose, Costa Rica, for those who may be here listening in from Costa Rica. It's going to be awesome. That one is going to be the weekend on the 31st. And we are most likely going to go two in Europe, one in Spain and the other one in Italy for the month of November. And December, well, everybody gets off, right? So yeah,
Yep.
we're gonna rest.
That is amazing. So I want you to tell me a little bit more about this. You're carbon neutral. Would that be the correct term that
Yeah,
you
yeah.
how do you achieve that? Because one of the things I always hear is how horrible server farms are. So I would love to know more about how
Hold on.
Green Geeks is integrating sustainability with high performance hosting.
Okay. So we what we do is we take like the bill or the consumption of what we do as a company as a whole through our service infrastructure, and we offset three times as much into we put that back into the grid through credits with the Bondfill organization based out of Oregon. And hold on, I'm getting a call. So yeah, we do that, and yeah, it's through the purchases of credits that we do that, and it's one of the most amazing things that we do. I think it's something that we need to look out, because with this AI thing, like with AI going like it has, it's very important that we consider, you know, the electricity costs of using those services, you know, and especially the you know, the internet is already high as it was, and artificial intelligence has spiked that even more. And to the point that I was reading the other day that Google and other tech giants are desperately asking the U.S. government to help them with energy, because yeah, they can't. They need more and more. So I think it's pivotal that we, as a society, think about, you know, the environmental costs about, you know, doing our everyday life with the things that we use. So yeah, we do this through the Bonneville Foundation, and like I said, we essentially say how much did we consume. It's this, so we put back three times as much back into the grid. And another key
Wow.
thing that I liked is we were already remote before the pandemic. So again, this saves the whole office moving type of thing. And yeah, and the trees, don't forget.
So you guys, everyone is remote. You don't have any sort of company
Correct.
headquarters
Everyone's
office
remote.
at all?
No, everyone's remote. We were before the pandemic.
Yeah.
So for us, when it happened, we were like, oh, okay. You know,
No big change.
no big change, no big deal.
Yeah.
So yeah.
Yeah. No, I mean, that definitely makes a difference too, right? When you don't have to have a giant building to house people all day long.
Correct. And you got to commute. Yeah, it's. I prefer it this way, to be honest.
Mhm. Yeah. So I was reading some stuff on your website about um, some of the things that GreenGeeks has done with the infrastructure to help make sure that websites will load fast, especially for people in rural areas or with slower internet connections. And I don't know if I'm getting too technical here and you're going to tell me, don't ask this question, but I always am interested in this because one of the things that we don't maybe think about as commonly with accessibility is that having performant websites really can impact accessibility. Some people in certain parts of the world maybe only have a phone to access a
Hmm.
website and might be accessing it via whatever
Hmm.
phone connection they have.
Hmm. Hmm.
And so I'd be curious if you could share a little bit about what you all have done and then what recommendations you might have for website owners or developers who want to make sure that their websites are accessible to people no matter where they are in the world.
From a speed and point of view, I don't want to get into the nitty gritty details of how the service, but we do have that in mind. Like we take into consideration the whole aspect of speed because speed's essential for a faster and more accessible web, as you mentioned. By default, we have a plugin installed, which is I can't recall the name, but yeah, we have a plugin that is installed for every customer that has an account with WordPress installation with us. So by default, it's on, and you can tweak it. Of course, you can configure it. So what this plugin does, it's a plugin that minifies your code. It's a plugin that compresses. Well, I already said that compresses or concatenates files, compresses images, makes sure that you make at least amount of calls possible to a server because one of the things that I spoke about speed is that making calls or requesting a website, it's like making walkie-talkie calls. Like for every file that you need, you got to make a call to the server, and the server needs to respond okay or not okay. So we try to
Mhm.
reduce that to as fewest amount of calls as possible. And what was the question? Developer. Oh, it
No,
impacts a
yeah. So what
lot.
would you
It
recommend
impact.
website owners do?
I recommend website owners to keep the amount of plugins to a list that is reasonable in order to not bloat the code of your website, which also hinders your accessibility because you're adding more stuff to it. I always recommend a if you're not going to use it, don't put it approach in the sense that if you're going to load any assets, any files, or any calls that you need to make, is this absolutely necessary? Like, for example, if you have a slider that is only accessible on articles, you shouldn't load that on the homepage. But sometimes
Mhm.
developers are like, let's put the code here anyways. So they put it, and you're making these unnecessary calls to files that you are not explicitly needing them at the moment. So I think developers need to be stingy about it. They need to make the fewest amount of calls and say, hey, listen, if this is not necessary for this web or this page to function, you shouldn't call it. And
Yeah, don't
keep
load it
it
on every page.
exactly. I think sometimes we treat this as if it was air, and going back to the whole wait, the word's a little bit. Going back to the whole environment,
Sustainability.
sustainability. There you go. Going back to the
Yeah.
whole sustainability thing. Less code means less data transferred. Less data transferred means less server usage. So you may say it's just me, it's just my website, but if you multiply that by the amount of your visitors, it really starts to snowball. So and I think developers are key to this. They need to be very conscious about that the work that they do has an impact into the ecosystem.
Yeah, I think this is something that I personally only just maybe a couple years ago became more aware of the sustainability and the impact of a website because you until you think about the electricity that is required to serve it and power
Exactly.
it. Like you just think, it's not a real thing. It can't hurt anything, right?
Correct. Correct.
And I'm thinking back to my personal blog that I started in 2009 to share pictures of my kids with
Yeah.
my family. And for a long time, I would literally take pictures from my DSLR camera
Okay.
and
I
just
know. I know.
upload them to the website, especially because I had a hosting plan that was like unlimited
Right.
storage, right? And I
Right.
never compressed them. I never did anything. They weren't even like at 72 dp. They were like print
They were like,
quality.
as I
Like,
took them, I uploaded, right?
yeah, exactly, just like that. And
Yeah.
and then every time I would change my WordPress theme, I would use the regenerate thumbnails plugin, but I would
Yeah.
never delete or clean up thumbnails that didn't apply to the new theme. And at one
Mhm.
point, I think my website had like 45 gigs of images.
That is
And
a
then I
lot. That
realized,
is a
wait a
lot.
minute, there is something wrong with this,
Yeah.
So I think you're right. Like there's a lot that you need to think about because
Correct.
really it does impact. It
Yeah.
impacts whether people want to use your website, but it also has this broader impact for the world as well.
Exactly. And I think the same of accessibility as well, because from a developer standpoint, you never thought about it until I don't know what conference I went and saw the percentage of users. And I was like, whoa, 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 this is huge. I didn't know it was that big. And you weren't aware that people browse the web differently. It was such an eye opener as well for me. And
Mhm.
so I get your sentiment. Yeah. It happened to me exactly the same with accessibility.
Yeah. We have someone who's watching. David says, nowadays I try to compress my images in WebP or AVIF format.
Yeah, which is great because those are initiatives by big tech companies because they are also aware of the fact that hey, if you upload less stuff, if you use less stuff, it's going to be better for everybody. It's going to be cheaper as well because you're going to consume less energy. So like I said before, be stingy when it comes to speed. The less you put, the better.
Mhm. So Green Geeks is, of course, a sponsor for WordPress Accessibility Day, which we very much appreciate because you help make it possible for us to have captions and sign language interpretation. And this year, we're going to be on Zoom events, which means people will be able to watch instant replays instead of having to wait for us to edit them and put them on YouTube. So
Oh.
thank you so much for that. I'm wondering if you could share a little bit about why Green Geeks chose to become a sponsor and help support our event.
Because we absolutely love the whole mantra of helping each other out, of making the web grow, of embracing people or initiatives that are all about making the web better. And we feel that the same with sustainability. We deeply feel as persons, as people that we are. We feel a commitment towards that, and this is one of the things that I absolutely love about our company, that we are conscious of that human factor of contributing to making things better. So for us, it's like an honor. It's like wow, we feel honored to be able to sponsor these things and to help each other out. So yeah, that's
Well,
what
thank
drives
you.
us.
Yeah. I'm curious, could you share any information that you might be aware of related to how Green Geeks is approaching accessibility in its own services or in your customer support processes?
Um, Through our website, we make sure that we are compliant to all the standards that are out there. And we do those checks every time we deploy code to our website or to our service or labels and things like that. And the support, I don't know that one. You caught me off guard. I'll owe you. I owe you I owe you that piece of information. Eh? Yeah,
Yeah,
but it's
well,
okay.
we'll follow up, I am sure, but I think there might be some information on your website
Hmm.
somewhere about
Hmm.
that as well.
About the
So.
support, yes.
Mhm. So let's look ahead just a little bit to WordPress Accessibility Day schedule because we are only, I don't know, 8 days out. starts on the
Whoa,
15th.
whoa, whoa.
We're in the final days here where us organizers are putting out fires, but also getting very excited to see these talks that we've been looking forward to for a
I know how
while.
that goes.
And I'm curious, what talks are you interested in?
Like being a colorblind designer. I that one I
Mhm.
like because again, it's all about the empathy of being able to understand how that other person achieves what we achieve through different means, and how you can see things from a different perspective and have that understanding that the way that I do things is just that, it's just a way. So being able to understand how other people do this, it broadens your knowledge even further. So I'm very, very curious about that. The other one is demystifying screen readers. It's like an intro to manual accessibility and stuff. I like that one because yeah, I'm a little scared about screen readers, to be honest with you. Yeah, I just don't know
I
what's gonna happen. So
That's what I was
it's
gonna say. I've heard people say that their first reaction when they try turning it on is, "Oh my gosh, how do I make it
yes.
stop?"
No, so it's something. It's like an alarm went off, or it's something like that. So I'm sometimes a little scared, and especially, yeah, and also from a testing perspective, right? Because it's also good for QA engineering teams to understand or to take into consideration the whole accessibility aspect of things when it comes to testing. So that talk definitely caught my eye. And I would say the other one is AI, of course. I want to see how AI meshes with accessibility and if it makes things better for people or not. So yeah, I want to know, and I want to know why and how, and have that there, like sitting there and be able to use it when the time comes. So I'm really interested in those three.
I think AI, that talk is going to be, of course, hot topic talk. How can
Yeah.
you run a conference in 2025 and not have a talk on AI? But it's so interesting because so many companies are coming out with these like AI website building tools where you
Hmm.
give it a prompt and it will just spit out a website.
Yeah.
Even like in WordPress, but also outside of WordPress, and who
Yeah.
even
Yeah.
knows what
Yeah.
the
Yeah.
underlying
Yeah.
structure of that looks
Yeah.
like. I
Yeah.
don't even
Yeah.
know. Uh, and so I am also really interested in that. It'll be interesting to see. I've seen like some preliminary reports of different people checking AI websites for accessibility. I think
Hmm.
Joe Dolson, I'm pretty sure he did this with Nathan Wrigley on one of their
Hmm.
WP Builds podcasts about accessibility, where they looked at a website that was created by AI, where the AI was told to make it accessible.
How did it
So I don't
go?
know. It'll be interesting.
Okay. Yeah.
Have you
Yeah.
tried any of those AI website building tools?
No, not yet. I don't know. Sometimes I feel that when these things happen, it's like this giant explosion, and it's this giant cloud of things. And in the end, the dust will settle and something will remain and other things will not. So I'm kind of waiting to see how that goes before I say, okay, yes, or okay, no. And this I speak from a developer perspective, because these new frameworks, these new features, like Gutenberg, all that stuff, like when something is really hot, everybody's talking about it, but not necessarily everything sticks.
Mhm.
So yeah, I'm kind of waiting to see what sticks, and take it from there. So maybe the whole website building thing, it's not going to be a thing, or it's going to be a very niche type of thing. So I think I have to wait until the wave is big enough for me to hop on it and surf. That's the way I see it. Yeah.
I mean, there's only so much time in the day, right? So if you were
That
chasing every
also
new thing,
that
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 would be
that
all you
also
were doing.
you have to be selective about it, of course. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. That's what I tell myself about why I haven't tried TikTok yet.
It's a good one. Yeah. Yeah. But yeah, it's a good
Yeah.
one. It's a very good one.
So, Well, it has been really fun to have you on here today, Marco, and to hear
Yeah,
everything that Green Geeks is doing. I had no idea that I knew you did a lot to support sustainability in the planet, but I had no idea that you were totally offset. And the whole planting a tree thing is super cool. I love
I
that.
love it. I
Um,
love it. Yeah, I love it also. Yeah.
yeah. So, can you share where people can go to learn more about Green Geeks, or if they want to reach out to you personally?
Sure. You can visit our website, which is greengeeks.com, or you could hit me up on LinkedIn. I'm there. Just hit me a connect. Gladly reach out with whatever you need. And or through my email, which is the first letter of my name, my last name at greengeeks.com. I don't know if, no, I can't put that here, right? No, no, sorry.
No, you might need to
No.
spell it though, just so people know what your last
M
name is.
Berrocal, that's Berrocal at greengeeks.com. Or look at search for me on LinkedIn. I'm gonna be there. My name's pretty unique, so don't worry.
And you're typically working with agencies or web developers or those sorts of things, or you can help anybody who might have questions about Green Geeks.
Anybody. We cater a lot to small business owners as well. As part of our, a big percentage of our customers are small businesses, and yeah, agencies, doesn't matter if they're small, big, one man army, doesn't matter. We have it for you.
Wonderful. Well, thank you so much for joining. Thank you for everyone who
It's a
tuned
pleasure.
in and had some wonderful conversation in the chat. I will put one more reminder up here. If you have not registered yet for WordPress Accessibility Day, please go register right now. You can do it for free at 2025.wpaccessibility.day/register. We will see you back for another live stream in a day or two. Until then, feel free, please go check out Green Geeks, one of our wonderful sponsors, and stay in touch on social.